Thank you. You may be seated. Again. Wasn't that beautiful? Good job. Welcome to the 87th commencement exercises of Fredonia Central School. I'm Darren Pashy, the high school principal, and this will be my 27th time that I've attended Fredonia's graduation ceremonies, including 31 years ago today for my own graduation from Fredonia. This is one of my favorite days of the year, if not the favorite, because it's an opportunity to share in collaborative efforts of the community, all of the families, the teachers, and staff of our district, and of course, the students we are here to honor and celebrate today. Class of 2018, today is a great day for each of you, but it is also a day to recognize the efforts of all who supported you in your journey to today's successes. If I could ask the candidates, now we've practiced this, right? Will the candidates please rise? They didn't know I was doing this. Could you please do an about face and face the audience for me? I would like to join the graduating class of 2018 in thanking the parents, the families, the teachers and friends who are in attendance today who have helped to make today possible. You are fantastic people and you deserve a round of applause. So graduates. Thank you, candidates. You can be seated. High expectations and great rewards have gone hand in hand for Fredonia High School's graduates as far back as I can remember. Looking back, we gained perspective on what was truly important. Certainly when we're in the moment, getting detention for being late more than 3 times seems like a big deal. Having to move your car past the white line in the parking lot could quite possibly have been the most horrible thing you were ever asked to do. And it was probably the last straw when we changed the school entry time. Now, looking back, I had to laugh because some of you who protested the loudest later laughed with me, saying that you were often in your pajamas still at 7:25 a.m., and you were whipping into the parking lot at the crack of 7:40 in order to get to homeroom on time. I'm pleased to say, however, that several real issues are being addressed as a result of your input on our student perception survey this year. While the changes to come will not affect you directly, you have nobly set into motion changes for those who are coming after you. And if there's one thing my parents instilled in me when I was young, it is essential to leave something in better condition than when you found it. Thank you for helping to do that, class of 2018. For next year, based on your feedback, among other things, we will be addressing homework, both the quantity and the quality. You expressed a hunger for more real-world opportunities, and we will be doubling our internship program opportunities in the coming year. Changes take time, and people willing to step up and make it happen. Thank you, class of 2018, for being a catalyst for positive change in our school. As you leave Fredonia High School and take into account the encouraging words that you will hear from our speakers today, remember that encouragement is only the first step to making a better world. We all have to be willing to do something to really change it. It is now my pleasure to introduce the individuals on stage. Please stand when I call your name. To my left in the first row, Mr. Dan Parker, Assistant High School Principal. Mr. Seth Schrader, Valedictorian and Student Council President. Ms. Hannah Gullo, Salutatorian and Student Performer. Ms. Sarah Lewis, School Counselor for students' names, last names being A through L. Mr. Stephen Romans, School Counselor for students with last names starting with M through Z. To my right, in the first row, Mr. Jeffrey Sortisio, Superintendent of Schools. Mrs. Susan Cobb, commencement speaker, former teacher, and member of the class of 1967 from Fredonia. Mr. Michael Bobstein, Board of Education President. Mrs. Christina Gegenschatz, Board of Education Vice President. Mr. Brian Aldrich, Board of Education member. To my right in the second row, Mr. David Jambrone, Board of Education member. Mr. Heath Forster, Board of Education member. Mr. Thomas Hawk, Board of Education member. Ms. Rachel Profit, student performer. To my right in the third row, Ms. Lydia Lansky, Student Council Vice President. Ms. Kira Carlson-Healy, student performer. Ms. Lauren Hill, Senior Class President. Ms. Melinda Wagg, student performer. We could give them all a hand, please. Thank you. And now it is my honor to begin the celebration of our successful young men and women of courage, strength, pride, success, intelligence, and character that are seated here before us. I now call on Ms. Lydia Lansky, the Student Council Vice President of the class of 2018. Lydia?
Good afternoon, graduates, family and friends, guest speaker, Board of Education members, administrators, and faculty. Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2018. I can definitely say I have been waiting for this day, and I am sure many of my classmates have been anxiously awaiting it as well. Our senior year has finally come to an end. We have enjoyed our last football games, especially the unforgettable win against Dunkirk, our last Spirit Week, the last homecoming and prom. We have finally finished all of our regents. The late night studying are over, at least for now. And the final minutes we waited in FHS for the last school bell to ring have passed. I can gladly say none of us have to suffer the pain of senioritis any longer, and I am sure our teachers are glad too. This is a day to celebrate all kinds of accomplishments. Everyone has succeeded in some way in high school and has something to be proud of. Whether it be graduating in the Honor Society or just graduating at all, every student in the class of 2018 has made someone in this room proud. Even if your mom or dad don't cry tears of happiness, they are more than proud. Although my mom will cry, and probably is right now. I love you, Mom. Today is the day you get to walk across that stage and say, I did it. We all had moments when we wanted to just give up and quit. I know I wanted to give up after failing multiple SISC quizzes. SISC stands for Stuff You Should Know. Unfortunately, during math class, there were a lot of times when I just didn't know. I also made the mistake of only leaving 3 days to read my book for English. This book was a painful 581 pages. My biggest mistake this year might have been talking through physics class almost every day. Seriously, ask Mr. Lauer. He was mad at me most of the time. When it was time to review for the AP test, I must say I struggled. Today, I'm happy to say I persevered and made it to graduation. So, whatever you struggled with this year, take a moment right now and thank yourself for pushing through it. Graduating from high school is a feat, so let yourself be recognized. Whether you are ready to say goodbye to the last 4 years of high school or not, you've definitely grown from the experience. Thanks to all the teachers that have shaped us, we can conquer the next steps in our lives. We are the class of 2018, and we are living the dream. Congratulations to everyone, and enjoy your proud moment up there on the stage. Thank you to everyone in attendance, and I hope you all enjoyed this afternoon's program.
Good afternoon. Members of the Board of Education, Mr. Sortisio, Mr. Paschke, Mr. Parker, teachers, honored guests, family, and friends, thank you all for being here and for celebrating with us. When writing this speech, I thought a lot about what we are actually celebrating. Today is our graduation, but more significantly, our commencement. Graduation focuses on all of our previous achievements, We celebrate the amazing playoff runs, the passing regent scores, and the outstanding musicals in which so many participated. We print out pictures of our highlights and cry because there will not be another chance to take part in all of the things that we love so much and from which we garnered so many accolades and so much success. Gone too are all of the cherished moments shared in the halls, classrooms, and cafeteria with one another, and with our teachers as well. Yet, if this were truly an ending, then why is it also called our commencement day? Though all but synonymous with graduation, commencement actually has a different meaning. Fredonia's word sleuth of an English teacher, DDS, would be very proud. I really broke this word down to find that commencement means beginning. At this point, we are beginning the next chapter of our lives. Now that we have graduated high school, our lives are actually beginning. Look around this beautiful hall and notice that we're all the same. We look very similar, we're dressed the same, we all have the same level of education, and there are 130 of us. There are 130 more down the street at Dunkirk, 55 more in Forestville, 417 of us in Niagara Falls. All across the country, there are graduates just like us celebrating similar successes. In this worldwide sea of graduation gowns, the achievements in which we took so much pride, upon which our reputations were built, actually mean but very little. Of course, we will always remember them and enjoy the memories and tell the stories. But in the grand scheme of things, we have yet to achieve anything of true significance. What has taken center stage as the most important achievements thus far will no longer carry us for the rest of our lives. Rather, what will set us apart and serve us well in the future is the character molded inside of us. Some of us have already achieved things much greater than what we see in the newspaper or on stage or in the classroom. Some of us have already gained perspective of life beyond their years. One of these people is Sydney Aldrich. After the church fire downtown, Sid went into the church to dry off the pews and protect against water damage. While the rest of us were on Facebook, sharing the post and spreading the news, Sydney was quietly taking real action. At Fredonia, we are given countless opportunities to take part in various service projects around town. While this should not be overlooked and the help we gave was appreciated, there are some of us here that have taken our service to another level. Mindy Wag is one who has gone on trips far away to help those in need, where hours were not recorded and signatures were not sought. She's gone. Additionally, we learned we don't have to go to great lengths to make a difference in someone's day. I would guess that Glenn Bennett has made everyone in this room smile at least once. Such a small, easy action, making someone smile or brightening someone's day. Yet how many of us actually take the time to do that? When most of us think of perseverance, we think of making it through finals week or battling through a tough playoff game. But there are classmates among us who have suffered tremendous losses. The loss of a friend, a relative, a parent. And some have endured personal and family crises. Yet they have carried on and shown us what true perseverance, strength, and grace are all about. In graduating, we are coming to terms with the fact that there will be no more chances to ace the test or make the big play or crush the audition. Yet, in celebrating our commencement, we are given an opportunity to broaden our perspective. We can now approach life filled with countless opportunities to make the world a better place, to do the selfless thing, to make someone smile, to be happy, to love, to do your very best, always. Though it sounds simple, if it were easy, everyone would do it. To be a good person means so much more than money, newspaper articles, trophies, or awards sitting on a shelf. Each one of us needs to do the little things that will make the world a better place. In doing so, we can stand out amongst the thousands and thousands of other students graduating today. If we do these little things today, tomorrow, the day after that, and for perhaps the next 60 to 70 years, I truly believe that the world will change for the better. It all starts with 130 of us crossing this stage today, doing the next right thing. Thank you, and God bless.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something they must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a sea drove by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet called like a ship as it passes the sun, by a wind off the sea, like a stream that meets like a boulder by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the entire Heery family, I congratulate all of the members of the class of 2018. We certainly know what a proud day this is for you and your families. Members of the class of 2018 would not have known Tom Heery, but some of your relatives may have. He served as the principal of Fredonia High School from 1972 to 1992. And this year marks the 25th year of his passing. While principal, he made decisions for the school by consistently asking the question, will this be good for the kids? He led by example with integrity and humility. The Thomas M. Heery Memorial Scholarship Award, selected by the administration and faculty, honors a student who has a minimum grade point average of 3.25 and will attend a four-year college, possesses strong moral character and works to his or her potential, and has demonstrated leadership and high achievement in extracurricular activities. This year's recipient excelled in 6 advanced placement courses, participated in Model United Nations and the mock trial team, and has extensive work in volunteer experience in the field of childcare. It is my privilege to present the 2018 Thomas M. Heery Memorial Scholarship Award to Sydney Aldrich.
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Beckman. I know that because I wrote it down right here, so I wouldn't forget. I'm a member of the steering committee and selection committee of the Fredonia Central School Education Assistance Fund. The Education Assistance Fund has provided scholarships awards to Fredonia High School students for the past 57 years. That's 400 scholarships total.
I'm happy to announce that we are giving out 2 scholarships this year. In her application letter, our first recipient commented on her decision to pursue a career in childhood education, stating, "I give all the credit to the incredible educators I had growing up. To me, they were like superheroes. The amount of patience, kindness, and understanding that they possessed was infinite. They taught me about the type of person I wanted to be." She has been a member of the Interact Club and Triumph Music Honor Society, and she has been accepted into the childhood education program at Niagara University. I'm pleased to announce our first recipient of a $1,000 Fredonia Teachers Association scholarship is Ms. Katie Panacci. Our second recipient is also choosing a career in childhood education. In her application letter, she wrote of completing an internship at Brooks Hospital in physical therapy. She stated, "Working very insightful. I wish we could get the people at State Education Department to learn that." She has been accepted into the childhood education program right here at State University of New York at Fredonia. And it's my privilege and honor to present a $1,000 Fredonia Teachers Association scholarship to Cassie Essick. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jude Gardner. I'm here. And all of our teammates compete. I know he's still looking over all of you. Many friends of Dan have decided to put together funds to dedicate an award in his name. This is not a scholarship. This is an award about equal opportunity of someone going into the work field or to trade school to better themselves. When choosing a recipient of this award, the characteristics and qualities we look for are a warm heart, a peaceful attitude, and the courage to help anyone in need. I would like to congratulate this year's recipient for displaying the same characteristics and displaying a heart of gold as Big Dan Bigelow did. This year's award winner is Kelsey Viennese. Thank you.
Good afternoon and congratulations to the class I was a teacher for 32 years, and I look at your young faces, and I'm a little jealous that I didn't get a chance to teach you. It's my honor today to give several awards. I'm going to switch the order a little bit from the program. I'd like to start out with the David E. Manley Award. It's given in honor of our classmate by his family, who was given the award for 32 years, Doug and the late Ann Manley. They've awarded a generous scholarship to a member of the graduating class of FHS. David was a brilliant, kind, and well-loved member of our class. Mrs. Cobb and I are classmates, and she would agree with that. This year, the award is going to a young woman who will be attending St. John Fisher School of Nursing, and her name is Kylie Warren. I'll be awarding, our class will be awarding 3 scholarships in memory of people we've lost from our class and teachers we've lost. And then there will be 1 additional award given, which is not on your program. For 30 years, our class has been awarding memorial scholarships to deserving seniors. I believe that that is longer than any other class has ever done that, so we're kind of proud of that. I'm going to name the people where they're going. If you would hold your applause, please, and if you, the 3 young ladies would come forward, I'd appreciate it. Jill Valvo will be going to Geneseo for early childhood education, Kelsey Viennese, Stony Brook for linguistics, and Anna Talbot, Fredonia, my alma mater, for business. Would you come forward, please? Unfortunately, I don't know these young ladies. I have to make sure I have the right one. You're Jill Valvo. Congratulations, Kelsey. There you go, thank you. And Anna. Thank you. The last scholarship is from our classmate, Barbara Bossier-Lessard, who, this is a new scholarship this year. Barb would like to present this award in honor of Gordon Corder, who was her high school guidance counselor. And she felt that guidance counselors did not get as much recognition as they should. So she'd like to give this in his honor. He was the one that first believed in her. She was the first one in her family to attend college. He helped her fill out the paperwork and encouraged her all along the way, and after 6 years of very intense study, she became a medical doctor. The recipient of the award this year has been described to me because I don't know her, although I will say that as I watch people come in, I saw her face and I thought, isn't she adorable? I spoke to a teacher who knows her very well. The first thing this person said is, I absolutely love her. And I said, can you give me some adjectives to describe her? And she said, yes, she's well-rounded, conscientious, respectful, and helpful. Those are wonderful traits. I'm pleased to announce that the award goes to a young lady who will be attending Grove City to study biology and health. Her name is Sydney Aldrich. And really, I watched you come in. We'll get that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and congratulations, class of 2018. The POW MIA scholarship is made available by a family of a local veteran and is awarded to a Fredonia High School graduating senior. The family established the following requirements for choosing the recipient of the scholarship. The graduating senior must be the descendant of a veteran who demonstrates a deep knowledge and appreciation of the sacrifices made by veterans during their service to our country. As this scholarship is awarded, this family requests that we take time to reflect on the extraordinary sacrifices made by those who answered the call to fight for freedom, for their efforts and sacrifice that helped build today's strong foundation which drives us all. In the dark hours of war and conflict, America's veterans, POWs, and MIAs answered freedom's call. We must not allow the sacrifices of these patriots to pass from our nation's consciousness. On behalf of this committee, I'd like to present the scholarship to Meredith Wheelock.
Hi everyone, my name is Seth Schrader. I'd like to start by thanking our principal, Mr. Paschke, our assistant principal, Mr. Parker, the members of the Board of Education, the teachers, the parents, and most of all, my classmates. I feel honored to be able to give this speech today as we celebrate our accomplishments and look forward to a new chapter in our lives. Today is a special day for all of us because for the first time in a long time, we have the opportunity for a fresh start. Once we go to college or trade school or into the military or a job, it won't matter what we did in high school or what happened to us while we were here. It doesn't make a difference if we loved every second of it or hated every bit of it. What matters is what we do next. There will always be challenges in each of our lives, and we should try our best to embrace that. They may not be the same challenges we faced in high school, but there will definitely be something there, and that's okay. Struggle is what makes us stronger, and the struggles of high school have only prepared us that much more for whatever comes next. Regardless of what path each of us takes, there are certain challenges we have to meet as a generation. I believe we are more than capable as long as we are willing to participate and willing to stay informed. The only danger is when we are willing to do one but not the other. Participation is misguided without awareness, and awareness is useless without participation. I think this is important to keep in mind as we prepare to create a better tomorrow. American author Robert Collier once said, "Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out." I chose this quote because I think it does a great job at capturing the nature of graduation. For the last 4 years, and actually much longer than that, we've been making the small efforts. Or if we're talking about our math homework, the large efforts. All the little choices of years past, even those made in seemingly unimportant moments, have led us to today. Today represents the sum of everything we have worked for up to this point, but it is far from an ending. Success is a journey, not a destination, and our journey is only just beginning. I know I've done a lot of looking forward, but on a day like today, I can't help but look back as well. About a week ago, I went to the baseball field with one of my classmates, a good friend of mine, to take batting practice before our last high school game ever. We talked about the last 4 years, all the memories we've made, and our plans for the future. And then on the way home, he said something that really got me thinking. He said, "You know, Seth, it's crazy how much people take time for granted. Before we know it, we're going to be drinking beer together on one of our patios." I thought to myself, I hope he doesn't mean tomorrow. But then he added, I'm talking about when we're 30 or 40, of course. The reason that got me thinking is because for most people who go through high school, the mentality is to just get through the first 3 years. Think about it. We count down the minutes until the end of classes, the days until the end of the week, and the weeks until the end of the year. By the time senior year rolls around, we're used to it. But then, as the year goes on, each minute starts to become a little more meaningful because the end is in sight. I think we're all a little guilty of taking time for granted every now and then, and it's days like today that remind us to live in the moment as best as we possibly can. While we may have been in a rush to get to the finish line in high school, we should try our best to slow things down and make the most of our opportunities in life. So how do we do that? I'm not really sure, but I think the best way is to just get outside our comfort zones and seek out as many new experiences as possible. Because at the end of the day, we always end up regretting the things we didn't do more than the ones we did. Now, our time as seniors is past, and it's up to the class of 2019 to take our place. Those of you who know them as well as I do know how much trouble the school is in. In closing, I'd like to congratulate us, the class of 2018, on this day of achievement and wish everyone the best of luck in the future. I know that it's time to find our place in the world, embrace change, and figure out who we are and who we want to be. But just because we're going our separate ways doesn't mean we have to let go of everything that made our time in high school so special. We will always have the memories we've made at Fredonia in our hearts, and we will have each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah and Kira. That was amazing. Well done. It is now my pleasure and honor to introduce our commencement keynote speaker. This year's speaker was a 1967 graduate of Fredonia High School who attended college here at SUNY Fredonia, earning both her Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degrees in Social Studies education. After spending a year teaching at Brockton, she began a teaching career at Fredonia Middle and High Schools in 1972 that positively changed lives for 36 years. She officially retired in 2008, but I dare say she has never stopped changing lives. During her tenure at Fredonia, she started the Family History Interview Project, the Model UN program, and the Memorial Day programs that continue to this day. She was the Department Chair of Social Studies for 22 years and worked simultaneously at Fredonia State in the Education Department to share her knowledge with college students who aspired to become teachers. Always trying to provide the best for her students, she earned 3 foreign study scholarships, one to Japan in 1993, one to Germany in 1997, and one to China in 2002. She also earned 2 Fulbright scholarships to Uzbekistan in 2000 and to Morocco in 2005. She has worked on and continues to work on 21 high school musicals and 4 middle school musicals. This year, she celebrated her 30th year of Quest backpacking, having spent the last 21 years as its leader with her husband, Steve. The Quest backpacking program has expanded to include students from 3 neighboring districts, Brockton, Silver Creek, and Cassadaga Valley. Over 2,000 students have experienced the Quest over the years. This school year, to the numerous other titles she holds and has held, our speaker has added author. She published a book called Quest, A Guide to Backpacking with Teens. This book chronicles the incredible experiences and development of this fantastic program and will hopefully serve the role of sparking similar programs across the country and across the world. It is my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, my colleague, a true mentor and friend to me and to humanity, Mrs. Susan Cobb.
Right here.
Okay. Enjoy.
My goodness. Thank you, Mr. Paschke, my colleague and my dear, dear friend. Congratulations, graduates. What an incredible day this is for you. Such a proud day for you and your families. And thank you to the members of the Board of Education, Mr. Sortizio, all the honored guests here, and most especially to all of you in the class of 2018. You might wonder what it's like to spend your entire life in this small town when you've also spent 47 years in public education. Well, my very first senior class this year became eligible for Medicare. Yes. And when I go for my annual physical now, the secretary and the physician's assistant are former students, and the nurse is the mom of a backpacker. When our furnace went out on Christmas Eve and our plumber friend came to repair it, the first order of business after the repair was an update on his sons, who were both student leaders. It also means that a highly creative, mischievous former student is now my boss, the director of the musical. And it means that my tree removal guy, who's poised at the top of his crane, ready to lift a huge old maple off our property, looked me squarely in the eyes and said, "Don't worry, Mrs. Cobb, I won't drop it on your house. And of course he didn't. I trusted him to do his job just as he and his dad trusted me to do mine. It's thousands of interactions just like these, based on trust and mutual respect, that build relationships and bind a community together. In late 1947, my folks got married and came to Fredonia on their honeymoon from New York City. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Coming to Fredonia for your honeymoon. But they did. And they never went back. Right now you're thinking, why? Why? Well, they were looking for something very different. They were looking for a springboard to a better life. They sought a community where they could raise a family, a place with great schools and creeks and backyards to explore, clean air, and a state college. A community where folks pitch in when a neighbor is ill or volunteer as firefighters, coaches, or board members. Fredonia has long been a model of how to practice active citizenship, and we have all been the beneficiaries. You may decide to make Western New York your home, or perhaps settle somewhere across the nation or the world. But wherever you go, I hope you will remember the examples of civility and service that make Fredonia a great place to live, and share your time and your talents generously with your adopted community. My folks' decision to adopt Fredonia meant that I had great teachers like Jen Ludeman and Sal Randazzo and Richard Glenzer, who first spurred my love of history and later hired me to teach in the middle school. And my mentor, Margaret Ruckman, who last year proofread my book and saved me from the embarrassment of dangling participles. Sometimes teachers are friends we meet in our travels, like Zafar, a young man from Uzbekistan who left a powerful impression on me. Back in 2000, Mr. Doug Carell and I spent the summer studying in Uzbekistan, and Zafar was a brilliant university student who acted as our guide and translator. He spoke 5 languages. The next year, 6 of us pitched in and brought him to the States, where he spent a week with each of us learning more about American life. On his final night, we hosted a small party for him and invited a few students and their parents. At the end of the evening, he sat silent and reflective on our front porch and said, "Your students have so many possibilities ahead of them. They can do anything they can dream. They can say whatever they think and do whatever they wish. In my country, I can't even speak my mind." I am forever grateful to Zafar because he reminded me how very fortunate we are to have been born in the United States, how precious our freedoms are, and how important it is to preserve them. Each of you, I'm sure, has had teachers who have helped shape your thinking, challenged your assumptions, and encouraged you to become a better person. I suspect that much of their influence has less to do with the subject material and more to do with their passion and commitment to you. Like Mr. Bennett, whose passion for music has inspired me to take trombone lessons. All of you and thousands of students before you have shared indelible lessons with all of us gathered here in this auditorium. You taught us to listen, to understand your life stories, your struggles, and your exciting plans for the future. You taught us about patience, like when Jill and Kelsey spent weeks making miles and miles of seaweed. And when Rachel sat for 3 hours a night for makeup. And when Mindy and Anna tried to wrangle 68th graders into a new game. And when another hiker asked for the 50th time, how much farther is it? You taught us about courage and sacrifice when during the sophomore interview project, you related the stories of your family's veterans, those hidden heroes among us. Like one student named Jackie, who told our class, you know, my grandfather was always this shadowy figure standing in the back of the room at my birthday parties. But then we talked, and he told me what he went through at the Battle of the Bulge. And now I look at him in a whole new way. He's a real hero, not just somebody who brings birthday presents. And another student told us about his grandfather, who finally related the story of being held a prisoner of war in the Philippines and how he was blinded during the Bataan Death March. You taught us about resilience and endurance. Every spring for the last 30 years, I've been awed by the 50 or 68th graders who take a chance, try something new, and tackle a brand new challenge that's completely outside their comfort zone. Backpacking, hiking in horrible weather, meeting new people, catching crayfish, and yes, pooping in the woods. But also having face-to-face conversations along the trail and making real connections. Backpacking is tough, and everyone struggles. But you are at your best when someone is in need, and I'm inspired by your empathy and your kindness. You watch out for each other. You offer assistance over fallen logs, or lighten loads, or carry extra packs. The same thing happens in musical. When a performer gets sick, you're there. Ice packs, throat massages, hot tea, or strategically placed buckets, just in case. But most of all, you have given all of us in this room great joy. Back in August of 1967, just after I graduated, the members of our local scout troop had the good fortune to travel to Washington, D.C. and meet Senator Robert Kennedy. It was an unforgettable trip, organized by our leader, Mrs. Celia Beckman. Tragically, Senator Kennedy was assassinated just a few months later, 50 years ago this month. But he reminded us of the importance of service to others. But history will judge you, he said. As the years pass, you will ultimately judge yourself in the extent to which you have used your gifts and talents to lighten and enrich the lives of your fellow men. In your hands lies the future of your world and the fulfillment of the best qualities of your own spirit. Fredonia grads have already made their marks around the nation and the world, and now you are about to enter that arena. What path will you choose? How will you serve? How will you respond to the moral and ethical dilemmas of the day? The most remarkable movements in human history have begun with people just like you. You have the power to change the world. Perhaps one of you will find a cure to cancer or lead an expedition to Mars. In just 7 years, you'll be eligible to run for Congress, and I hope you do. Last few bits of advice. First, discover the passions that will fill your life with joy and purpose. Whatever you choose, find your own path. Be a doer, not a bystander to life. Connect with people who will challenge you and help you grow. Second, Tread lightly on this earth and cherish life in all its many facets. Explore the wonders this world has to offer and work to preserve them. Embrace the unexpected. And don't be afraid of people and places that are different. Your life will be much happier and healthier if you simply spend more time outside. Third, persist. If you have a goal, do not give up. And finally, my wish for you is that your lives are filled with the many joys of friends and family. May you find an equal partner to share your life, one who will lift you up and sustain you, as mine has for so many years. Now go. Get out there and change the world. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, fellow students, parents, and teachers. As the senior class president, it is my job to highlight the history of our class and what we will be leaving behind as we venture out into the world. The second I heard that that's what I had to do here, I tried to get impeached. That didn't work. So I thought to myself, what has our class really done that will be remembered? And then I did some thinking, and believe it or not, we're pretty amazing. I now invite you all back to 2013. Miley Cyrus was swinging on a wrecking ball, and Beyonce was slaying the Super Bowl halftime show. But most importantly, the Fredonia Middle School cafeteria took our spoons away. We didn't see them as spoons, though. We saw catapults, and we saw projectile distance records that needed breaking. So the action wasn't entirely without reason, but nevertheless, we felt cheated. The black market for spoons reached an all-time high, with kids selling them out of their lockers for outrageous prices. And of course, the whole thing ended with a peaceful protest standing in the hallway, holding spoons and shouting, "Spoons." It's very original. While countless teachers begged us to give it a rest and just go to class. I am proud to say that we successfully got our spoons back. That was the day that we stood together, and that was the day that the future leaders our class has produced were awakened. Aside from the Great Spoon Revolution, our grade has been subject to a number of experiments, and I have since affectionately named us the guinea pig class for this reason. We were the first fifth graders allowed into middle school, testing the waters for a future of younger middle school students. We have also seen two vice principals, 2 principals, and 2 superintendents in high school alone. We also arguably got hit hardest by Common Core math, which caused lots of stress and late nights. I won't say too much about that because I'm assuming everyone in this class has had an experience similar to my own with math. And finally, anybody who took an AP class with myself or any of my friends for that matter knows that we owe all of the AP teachers an apology for what we put them through. They have proven to be a resilient group of teachers, and I promise that we will at least try and do better out in the world. Aside from things that we have experienced as a class, each of us can probably recall dozens of memories from our time together that will make us smile for many years to come. That first day of high school, which seems so far away now, cheering at all of the football games and dancing at all of the school dances, appropriately of course. All of these memories have led us right here, to where we are now and who we are now. The years we have spent together have been quite a ride, and I hope that everyone is leaving high school with as many memories as possible. If being a hillbilly for all these years has taught me anything, it is that we are strong and hardworking, and above all, I am truly proud to say that I was able to grow up along with the class of 2018, and I can't wait to see what each of us will do out in the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, it is my pleasure and privilege to award high school diplomas to members of the class of 2018. I'd ask the first row of candidates to please rise.
Dylan James Abatoy. Stephen James Aldrich. Sydney Jean Aldrich. Sydney's diploma is being presented by her father, current Board of Education member, Mr. Brian Aldrich. Maya C. Amatuzzo. Francesca H. Arietta. Mackenzie L. Bailey. Bianca Ray Ballier Miranda. Brandon Matthew Barris. Glenn A. Bennett. Melissa Sue Berg. Christopher John Dewey Bigelow. Lydia Elaine Bird. Rachel Joan Bowman. Ian Connor Brown. Tyler J. Kane. Benjamin David Camp. Kira Lynn Carlson Healy. Dylan M. Clemens. Brandon M. Cole, Jr. Hector Rafael Colomb. Andrew Fiore Conti. Allison M. Cortez. Caleb M. Crampton. Paige Alexis Cronin. Jacob D. Cruz. Carter John DiAugustino. Amelia Rose Elizabeth Dake. Tanner D.G. Davis. Thomas J. Degenhart. Jonathan N. Del Rio. Andrea Michelle Dietzen. Liana Nicole DeRusso. Julia Rose Drummond. Riley Elizabeth Drummond. Alize Rose Jidu. Joshua James Elman. Madison A. Engel. Cassandra Lee Essek. Joshua J. Falco. Andrew J. Field. Lillian Jane Fiorella. Brandon M. Frazita. Jason Michael Genovese, Jr. Miley G. Gilbert Rivera. Madison K. Goss. Emily Michelle Gronquist. Jacob C. Guerra. Hannah Maria Gullo. Hannah's diploma is being presented by her grandfather, former Board of Education member, Mr. Joseph Gullo. Olivia Josephine Gullo. Olivia's diploma is being presented by her grandfather, former Board of Education member, Mr. Joseph Gullo. Tyler J. Hall. Lauren Evangeline Hill. Ashley G. Holt. Mary A. Holt. Casey S. Huber. Bo Michael Huggins. Joshua Allen Johnson. Margaret Mary Jones. Lauren Elizabeth Cluck. Hannah Josephine Koning. Jared Christopher Kowalski. Daniel J. Legros. Tyler John Lambert. Fotini Landis. Travis Richard Langworthy. Lydia Diane Lansky. Braden J. Lesh.
Michaela Brianna Mackey. Sam McIntosh Smith. Nolan Robert Mages. Mackenzie Marie Markham. Olivia Hunter Merwin. Patrick J. Montrose Youngins. Gracie W. Morrison. Ryan Patrick Marachka. Tina Tran Nguyen. Chandler E. Orr. Catherine Rose Panacci. Nicholas J. Pelka. Brendan M. Plaister. Brandon P. Powell. Grayson M. Pratt. Catherine Christine Price. Rachel Catherine Prophet. Grace Mary Pucciarelli. Kimberlyn Renee Reading. Nathaniel Lee Rodriguez. Augusto Rodriguez Navarro. Colton Oliver Rolling. Brianna May Rosen. Jenna Marie Salisbury. Seth A. Schrader. Owen Matthew Schrantz. Anna E. Schrouth. Kevin Michael Sabold. Carly Lynn Skelly. Mackenzie Joanne Slocum. Lauren Elizabeth Stelmach.
Yes, best friend.
Claire Elizabeth Stokes. Connor M. Sugden. Anna M. Talbot. Reed Michael Tarnowski. Jackson N. Taylor. Jackson's diploma is being presented by his grandfather, Board of Education member, Mr. David Giambrone. Haley Jade Tenamore. Joshua Harley Thompson. Matthew Robert Tinsman. Jillian Rose Valvo. Cassandra Rose Vecchio. Alex J. Venn. Austin C. Venn. Kelsey M. Viennese. Melinda Nicole Wag. Seamus R. Wagner McMahon. Derek Alexander Walters. Kylie Marie Warren. Adam L. Wasura. Meredith Ann Wheelock. Ryan Alexander Williams. Tyler D. Winchell. Please join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2018.
Okay, now comes the magic moment, the magic word. So if the students would all please stand, all the candidates, if you'd rise. The faculty and administration of the Fredonia Central School District have verified that you have successfully completed the prescribed course of high school study for the state of New York. Therefore, by the power vested in me and my fellow board members by the state of New York, I hereby award you with a graduation diploma. You may now move your tassels. Now will you all be seated?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. Your support is a big reason why our class has been successful in so many different areas, so thank you. A special thank you goes to our teachers for everything they've done for us. I think I speak for my classmates when I say that you've made a difference in our lives and been an inspiration to all of us. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents, Phil and Karen Schrader. Mom and Dad, thank you for always believing in me and motivating me to reach my potential. I feel blessed to have you as my parents, and I owe any success I've had to you. Now I ask my classmates, who do you have to thank? It could be a parent, a teacher, a coach, a counselor, whoever. Just make sure you find and thank the person who helped you, because none of us would be here today without help. As we move forward, we should always remember that as long as we work hard, strive for our goals, and believe in ourselves, there's no limit to what we can achieve. I'm confident that our class has the characteristics needed to achieve success in whatever we choose to do, and I know we will do great things. Thank you and God bless.